Chapter 29. Oh, that I were as in months past. Job continued his discourse, but now, instead of answering his friends, instead of crying out to heaven, he looked backward, to the days before the pain, to the time before silence. He said,
Oh, that I were as in months past, as in the days when God watched over me, when his lamp shone upon my head, and when by his light I walked through darkness. Just as I was in the days of my prime, when the friendly counsel of God was over my tent, when the Almighty was yet with me, when my children were around me.
Job wasn't just remembering prosperity, he was remembering God's nearness. He said,
When my steps were bathed with cream, and the rock poured out rivers of oil for me.
Then he recalled the honor he once carried, not for his wealth, but for his righteousness. He said,
When I went out to the gate by the city, when I took my seat in the open square, the young men saw me and hid, and the aged arose and stood. The princes refrained from talking and put their hand on their mouth. The voice of nobles was hushed, and their tongue stuck to the roof of their mouth.
He had been a man of respect, a voice of justice, a helper of the weak. He said,
When the ear heard, then it blessed me, and when the eye saw, then it approved me, because I delivered the poor who cried out, the fatherless, and the one who had no helper. The blessing of a perishing man came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy.
He remembered being a man of honor, not just in words, but in action. He said,
I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My justice was like a robe and a turban. I was eyes to the blind, and I was feet to the lame. I was a father to the poor, and I searched out the case that I did not know. I broke the fangs of the wicked, and plucked the victim from his teeth.
Job had been more than wealthy. He had been good. He had used his power to protect the powerless. And in those days, he believed his future would only grow brighter. He said,
Then I said, I shall die in my nest, and multiply my days as the sand. My root is spread out to the waters, and the dew lies all night on my branch. My glory is fresh within me, and my bow is renewed in my hand.
His influence was undeniable.
Men listened to me and waited, and kept silence for my counsel. After my words, they did not speak again, and my speech settled on them as dew. They waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouth wide as for the spring rain. I chose the way for them, and sat as chief. So I dwelt as a king in the army, as one who comforts mourners.
Job remembered, not with pride, but with sorrow. He wasn't mourning lost luxury. He was mourning lost nearness with God, and the loss of a life where justice had meant something